Welcome, friends, to News Center 28 with Tiffany Clem and cameraman Mark Wilson in Louisville, Kentucky, which is cable. And now, here comes Tiffany Clem right now, after these messages. Hello, friends. Good evening, and welcome to News Center 28. And I'm your news reporter, Tiffany Clem. And we'll start today with the weather. I mean, most of the time we get it in the middle. But today, we're having so bad weather, we want to get right into you about the weather. Now today, in West Virginia, through the stretch of Bluefield and Mayberry, West Virginia, they had a very bad hurricane, I must say. It came in like a flash. They didn't know what happened, but it only lasted for 2 minutes. Can you believe that, America? 2 minutes. Now that sounds weird, but it's the truth. And there was only 2 people killed on that stretch. And the people were Harry Morrison and Jennifer Cleary. We would hate to see these people, die, but that's how life is. And nobody else was injured. Now we go to the weather in Hawaii. Today they had a very severe earthquake. I hate to say, like you say, Hawaii wouldn't have earthquakes, would it? Well, it did, and killed 68 people. Now we go to where we are now in Louisville, Kentucky. Today, an airliner crashed. It was on American Airlines, and it crashed right into the island. And I tell you, it destroyed 38 people. All of them were injured. And 1 was killed. And we'll come back after these messages as soon as we have a commercial. Happy holidays. Hello, and we're back. I hope you enjoyed those few moments. And now, we're going to talk about the latest crashes. Did you know that in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, they always go there to the Grand Ole Opry. Well, a 14-year-old man crashed into the side of that building, and it's going to take 2 weeks to rebuild the Grand Ole Opry building. So those people who like to go there, you're just going to have to wait 2 weeks. And another crash was in Montana, where, the snow is so bad there lately, and a man crashed into the side of a mountain. An avalanche came down and buried him, and they're still looking for him, but the snow is so deep that they say it's going to take 2 or 3 days to get him out. Now, a little bit of a talk about Christmas. Christmas is those special holidays when you get under the tree and open those presents when jolly old St. Nicholas comes. And you've got to get so many stuff for your children, because some children are very choosy. But I found one thing that has gone very fast in the stores that everyone has said. These little stereos, boom boxes as they call them. They have a radio and a tape player, and just that. And they've invented these little, look at this, headphones. You unravel them, see? And you unravel it, and when you're through, one fits into one ear and one into the other. I think that's really cool, And just listen to some of this music that our teenagers are listening to. Sometimes they get into the hardest rock you've ever heard. For instance. Well, that's not really hard rock, but some's worse than that. Now we move on to things about the area. A man was riding on his bike when a bus came by, and it was a Trailways bus. They was going to Norfolk, West Virginia, and the guy was on his bike. He was riding perfectly well, and the bus came around the corner, speeding like a bullet, and ran into the man. The man is in intensive care in the hospital at Bluefield Community Hospital. His name is Robb Morrison. And now, I'll see you in just a little bit for more about news coming up next. Hello, and we're back. I hope you enjoyed those few moments. And now, I said that we were going to talk about news, which we are. A lot of things has happened over the country. It's sweeping all over the nation. And do you know what it is? It's scarlet fever. A very bad fever. People would say, well, I can't get it. But but you know, you just might get it. It's sweeping over the nation fast as anything, faster than a speeding bullet. So many people are getting it over the United States. And what it really is just red places, big red places that itch a lot. It can really kill you, and it's a very bad disease. And we've had hospitals all over the nation saying that it's being a big problem, which it is. And so now we're going to go about the Atlantic Ocean. A lot of ships are going out to the Atlantic Ocean. We have the SS Sexton, a new ship that has just went out. It's only 2 months old. And it's been in the ocean for some time. And it's headed towards something that everyone don't like. The Soviet Union. A country that has a lot of communists in it. And it's terrible. People over there, they're watched all the time by guards. And it's so good that the United States is in a communist commercial. And we'll be back in just a minute, and we'll talk about weather. Until then, hello, and we're back again to introduce you to the weather. Everyone wants to know about the weather, and that's why we're here. First, we'll start with the United States. It looks like a lot of rain for the United States. All over the United States, it's going to be raining. Next, we come to Russia. Lots of sunshine all over the place. Next, we come to Canada. They're going to have some freezing temperatures and a lot of snow for Christmas. And then we have Japan. And in Japan, everything's going just fine, and it's going to be lots of sunshine, as you can see. Next, we come to California. What's the matter? Oh, that must have got slipped in there somehow. Next, we go to Turkey. It's going to have a lot of showers today. All right. Now we're going to talk really about the weather. Now, like I said, in, I think it was, let's see, what was it? Canada, where they had the snow. A guy, 14 years old, was caught driving a car when he was not supposed to. After all, you have to be 16. And he was driving this car, and he ran into this lady who was divorced with her 2 kids. And it was a very bad accident. The 2 kids died immediately. The woman is in intensive care, and the man is fine, and he's having his trial 2 weeks from now at Superior Court. Now, since you know all about the weather and what's going to be about it, we'll call our side viewer in, which is Robert Sexton, after these messages.
Hi, we're back. It's sports time. Did you hear, I think everybody's heard about the West Virginia Notre Dame Fighting Irish Mountaineer game, you know. It's a major game. It's all around West Virginia. I'm talking about, you don't have to worry about it. You know what, everybody knows West Virginia's gonna win, of course. I'm real crazy. I like to wear sunglasses on the camera, you know. It's pretty dumb, but I like it. Okay, we'll switch. Since baseball season is over, well, we don't have that much to talk about. All we gotta do is talk about transactions, trades, whatever. The first trade of today is kind of old news, but it's kind of major. Dale Murphy was traded from the Atlanta Braves to the New York Mets. It's pretty rough, but we'll just have to see. And in transactions, Ken Griffey is very sick, and he will have to retire from baseball. can't show it on the screen back here. That's why we got to write it in the paper, of course. And the Chicago Bulls won over the Los Angeles Lakers last night, 140 to 112. They totally killed them. Oh, get off that. And Celtics beat Charlotte Hornets 103 to 98. Charlotte played them close. I'm gonna read my report here a second. Miami Heat, the new basketball team, along with Charlotte, finally won their second game against the Indiana Pacers. They won it by 1 point, 103 to 102. Amazing, isn't it? Yes, very, 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 very. There wasn't that very many games last night because of Christmas and stuff. We have 2 more games. Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets. Rockets won 106 to 105. And our last game in basketball was not something like that. If I'm having so much trouble. They skipped that last game because they didn't play it because it's so late. Now to football. We have incredible news for football. You just got to hear this. Today was our Aloha Bowl, and it was so terrible. Washington State beat them 24 to something. Psych. 16. You know, I told you I was crazy from the start. And I was just wondering about our football since we West Virginia. They need our support in Tempe, Arizona. So we'll see y'all later. And there's no soccer news today. There's no tennis news, but there is hockey news. In the NHL, there's only 1 game played today, and it was against the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Islanders. And that was 6-3. Okay, to volleyball. USA played a tournament game against France and beat them 4-2. The Soviet Union played Korea and beat them by 2 matches. Nobody knows, but we'll wonder later. Now, we'll tell you about upcoming things around the neighborhood in just a couple minutes, but we'll be going to our message right now. Bye.
Hello, welcome back, and I'm here again, Tiffany Clem. And we just came with the most exciting story. Can't believe it. To all you people who love your president, he just got assassinated by a man named Charles King. Yes, and they can't find this name, but they know that he killed him because there was a spy named Robert Morrison, and he was looking on a U.S. volleyball player when it happened, and they said that he also saw the murderer. The president got killed in this wonderful year of 1992, and as you know, the president's name was that good, sweet, kind, loving, wonderful, romantic, wonderful, great person, President Ronald Reagan. But some people don't think he's so wonderful. So this Charles Schwab, I don't think he thought he was so wonderful because he killed him. And now we're going to go to something called a special moment. And this special moment is about our new cameraman. And his name is Mark Wilson. And we'll be back with him after these messages. Thank you. Hello, and I'm back. And here comes our nice Mr. Cameraman now. And his name is Mark Wilson. Mark, how do you feel about, working with the cameras?
Well, they're all right, but, there ain't too many things to do with it. They're a little disoperational. We'll just say about that.
What feeling do you have while you're working it?
It's kind of fun in a way. You wonder what you do. You wonder what's going to happen.
Yes, and have you ever taped someone very famous? Can you name any people right offhand?
Yes.
Who?
Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter. Not 2 years ago.
Jimmy Carter, yes. A very famous president indeed. Is there any more famous people that, that you have taped?
Well, for two people, for instance, I've taped people like Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah, no, that's good.
A very contemporary artist named Russ Taff.
Oh, yes, they said that he's a very famous artist.
And fourth, last but
artist
not
of
least,
music.
last but not least, you, of course.
Well, yes, you do that every day. He's been working with us for 3 weeks so far, and it's been very good. And we'll be back with him in just a little bit after this small, brief message. And we'll be back to talk with him. And we're back again after that little confusion by a little person named Tracy Sexton. Now that we're here, this famous cameraman, Mark Wilson, since we've had for 3 weeks, he said that he has taped before 4 famous people in his life. And these 4 people are as follows. Can everybody see that? First we go President Jimmy Carter. And he said he taped him. And where did you say you taped him?
I taped him in Washington, D.C., right near the White House.
And next we have Michael Jackson. Where did you do him? Down at Disney World?
No, in Washington, Seattle, Washington.
Okay. And what about Russ Taff, that famous artist of music?
Right here in Washington, Louisville, Kentucky. I always get those 2 states myself.
And you always do me in Louisville, Kentucky, which is Tiffany Clown. But now, we're going to ask him some more questions. Have you ever taped any singers besides Michael Jackson and Russ Taff?
Maybe Madonna.
Madonna? That's a very famous rock and roll singer. Can you name us one of her songs?
Like a Virgin.
Yes, that's one of her songs. She's become very popular all over the United States. Well, I've enjoyed this interview with you. You were very interesting. You do a great job of taping.
You know me.
And you're very good, at answering questions. And I thank you for coming. Thank you again. And now, before we leave, we're going to talk about one more thing. About the music in the world after these messages. Hello. Like I said, we're going to talk about music in the world. In Japan, one of their famous music, can you believe it? Rock and roll. People over there are very getting a kick out of that rock and roll. They really are. In Turkey, most of the people are going for country. In Switzerland, oh, I got that thing in there again. In Canada, a lot of people there like gospel. A lot of people over Canada are listening to gospel. A lot of people in Russia, the Soviet Union, are enjoying country rock. That half country and half rock. And here at the United States, everybody knows what United States is. Come on, audience, tell me what it is. Rock and roll, that's right. Over the country, our United States have been rocking and rolling for years. And I think that's all the states we have. Oh, we've got one more right here. I knew that Switzerland was in there somewhere, and it's right here. And what is famous there is gospel, country gospel. A lot of people are enjoying it. Country gospel. Now that we went over music, crashes, injuries, news, sports, weather, stuff around the area, and a special moment, we thank you for joining us. And I'm Tiffany Clem saying thank you for tuning in. have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope I